it's Alex from 𝐬𝐲 Snacks. Now, welcome to another Cook Along with 𝐬𝐲 Snacks live. I get so excited when I say the live bit because you've got no idea what went on before. Just as well it wasn't live. There was a horrendous mess on the stove. Anyway, as I said, I'm Alex Stewart. I am a cancer survivor, so I have walked the walk and I can talk the talk. Today I'm going to be showing you some adaptations you can do to a Jamie Oliver recipe. He's got a fabulous recipe and it's called quick green pasta. And why it's really good is it doesn't take a lot of effort and energy to make for a start. And there are so many things in there that can be changed to suit different side effects. It's all about knowing what to do with everyday recipes so people can still sit down with their family and enjoy a meal together. We're after making happy hearts after all. So this is the recipe here. Now, it's on his website. I'll put up a link to that. I won't ever, for other chefs' recipes, I will not write them out per se. It's not my work, it's their work. So I'll put a link to where you can find that and download it. I'll also have a list of all the adaptations and modifications you can do to it. Now, I'm just going to show you a quick behind the scenes on this because what I do for every single recipe is have a little chart. I'll show you my board and explain it. It might look like mud to you. So this is my board that I use. So I use my little symbols. I write out which recipe I'm modifying, the general basics of it, and exactly with the different side effects that we can change it for. So probably some of my symbolism there makes absolutely no sense to you, but I come from a science background. I have a science degree. So some of this notation is actually science degree-ish. That's my board. I just love my board. Can't get enough of whiteboards, quite frankly. They're up all around the house, along with stick-it notes. As I told you on Monday, stick-it notes in the fridge so my husband doesn't eat stuff out of there. Now, the quick green pasta recipe, have it just on its own and adapt it for, say, taste changes for a start. So you can add in different herbs and spices, lemons, ginger. That would be fine with this one as well. What else have I got there for taste changes? Okay, so we'll start. Taste changes are different for everybody. No two people having the same treatment will have exactly the same side effects. So a lot of the time people will find things taste really salty, really sour. They can taste bitter. They can taste far too sweet as well. So what people find is often savoury is a really good middle road. But as I say, it's different for everybody. It's really sad that I can't just say to you, do this for that, this for that, this for that, because it is a bit of a trial and error when it comes to taste changes. So we'll play around with some things. But adding in herbs is a really great way of adding some freshness and giving things a lift. Lemon zest is another one. Now, back to the start of the recipe. So what I've done here, I've done a bit of prep. It calls for the tender stem broccoli. I think we call it broccolini here in Australia. And it was just cut up small along with leek. There's some frozen peas and I've used frozen kale because I didn't have spinach. I've got a whole grain pasta here, so it's quite big too. It's a penne. And I also have the florets as well. Now, for somebody, if people are having difficulty swallowing and chewing food, some of the swap outs I would do here would be, first of all, change the pasta. You don't always have to use a big pasta. You can keep going down and down in size till there's something that's found that's suitable. So what I've done, I've used a small macaroni for this one. Risoni, if you want to go smaller again, risoni is absolutely fabulous. It's a great shape and a great size. It's just like a slightly bigger size grain of rice is the size of it. But it goes down really well. It's quite smooth on the outside too, so it's a great one. Doesn't take chewing either. I remember it'd be 2 weeks after my treatments, I'd have aching bones in my face and it was impossible to chew food. So I needed really soft things. That's something else you can do. Find something that's really small and really small. Now, smell changes. Strong odours can really make people feel nauseous. That's just a common thing. I think pregnant women find that as well. What I would do with the leek and these other veggies is rather than cook them up in a fry pan, Could steam them in the microwave or even steam them on the stovetop with the exhaust fan going. Anything that's going to lessen those odours is great for that. So what else have I got here? I'm just looking here. So we're going smaller and smaller pieces again. So we've talked about the pasta. Even though things are still small and soft, they still might not be able to be swallowed. This is where we start looking at blending. So you can whiz things up, blend, mash, puree, whatever you want to call it, and make it as smooth as you need to. Now that goes for the pasta as well. But if you just don't want a pile of something on your plate that has had everything blended up, make it into a soup. This recipe is really adaptable for a soup. Now, with my disaster with the pasta before, I left it on the stove far too long, and I've gone away for about 20 minutes. I've come downstairs and all I could smell was pasta, and I thought, oh, it's all burnt, but it wasn't. It was just very, very overcooked. So anyway, I've used that, and you might be able to see it here. So I put this in the blender for a quick whiz up, so it's quite small and really easy to swallow now. So what I would do with that is make that into a soup. Now, these other ingredients with all of the veggies, again, still might be too difficult to swallow. And what I did with it after it was all cooked is I just put it in the blender, and I've made it into, well, it's a sauce really. And what I did to make it a bit looser and also easier to swallow is I added in some sour cream. You can add sour cream, you can add any, you could also add like a soft cream cheese as well, particularly if there's loss of weight and you need stuff that's going to help with that. So cream cheeses are a really good one. On my little board here, I've written down here about fats. I've got avocado, cashews. Cashews are great because you can soak them beforehand, whiz them up again. They become a puree and much easier to go down, but you're getting some really good fats in. Another one I had was nut butters. So almond butter on an almond spread. So long as it's smooth, if you need that, that can go in as well. Right, so what I would do with this is just the pasta as it's cooked up, is I would be serving this just normally into a bowl. Just a little bowl there. Oh, don't have a spoon. I always forget something. At least I'm not calling the stove the couch this time. That was a bit embarrassing on Monday. And you would just chop that up and stir it through. Cheese. Now, again, taste changes, the saltiness. You might just want to add that cream cheese or leave cheese out altogether. This is Parmesan cheese. It might be a bit salty for people. Change that however you want to. My favourite idea with this, though, is still the soup. So what I would do, I've got that soft pasta there. I've got some stock here. Again, it's a low salt stock. You might want to make it a bit saltier and need it saltier, so you can make whatever stock that you like. I would add that into there. It's good colour. And then what I would do is the blended ingredients that I have here would just put that through, and it actually makes up a really good looking soup. Trouble with liquid things though, I can't tip them around to show you, but I will have pictures on the website. So that's quite easy to go down, but it could be blended smooth as well. I'm just checking on my little board to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Oh yeah, nausea. Temperature-wise of food, sometimes hot foods, not so great for nausea. Have them at room temperature or a bit colder. I'm just looking here, make sure I've done that. Okay, I think I've actually done, no, I haven't done everything. Adding flavour to things. If you have a sore mouth, ulcerated mouth, acidic things aren't going to be so great, but you might still want to add flavour into things. These flavoured olive oils are terrific. Gives the flavour without the acidity. I also have a dukkha here. I don't know how to pronounce that actually. I'm sure somebody's going to tell me. Dukkha, don't know. All of them might be correct. Anything to add in extra flavour that you need. Okay, now I've got written on board here boosters, and we're talking about boosting things with protein. So you could also just shred up some chicken to put in this. Again, nut butters are really good, and the nuts themselves, great for gaining some more protein in things. And I think at breakneck speed, I've actually managed to do that. So we've talked about changing the consistency of the ingredients and the consistency of the finished product. We've talked about changing texture. We've talked about changing size of ingredients as well. And I'm just making sure we've talked about some swapping things in and out, and we've talked about moisture levels. So for the dry mouth, definitely be adding in things like the sour cream, anything to give something more moisture. And still, again, the soup idea is brilliant for that. Right, so I hope you enjoyed that. This will be up with some more details on the website as well, along with the video. And I'll also have the written adaptations on there as well. Now, don't forget to join me Monday, because Monday I am going to be cooking a recipe from my new cookbook, which is through rose-tinted glasses. And not sure which one it'll be, but I'll post over the weekend, and I'll post the recipe as well. You might want to cook along with that too. Okie doke, so there you go. If you've made that, have a great lunch, and I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.